So I felt inspired to come in and get a little more personal today. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about yet. Still realizing how important for me it is to have these deep, intimate conversations with myself or with others, which are just another me, really. In the midst of so much constantly happening, moving, unfolding, transforming, all of it. These moments of slowing down and dropping in and being intimate and being vulnerable and transparent, and those are the moments that deeply nourish my heart and soul. And these are the type of conversations I really am interested in spending my time having. Anything else, I kind of move through it pretty quickly. While these are the rich, yummy places where I can spend hours and hours and just feels like minutes, and I can really spend infinity doing or being or sharing with each other. So I invite whoever is with me right now to just drop in for a moment in your body, in your sit bones. I'm actually sitting in this rocky chair, which, funny enough, is a type of chair I imagine myself sitting on a porch with a white long hair, smoking maybe, possibly, a joint of cannabis or beautiful flower blend with the miana and roses and blue lotus and lavender, and being on the porch overlooking this beautiful open land, greenery. I can see donkeys and llamas and cows and just all these different animals, horses that are roaming around. And this is kind of one of the visions I get of myself, my future me. So funny enough, the future me, the present me are here right now on this rocking chair. So as I share this, what is coming up is the magnificent opportunity to use our imagination, because we're constantly using our imagination anyway. We're constantly imagining things. To actually use our imagination for imagining ourselves, to imagining the way we want to see ourselves, to keep spending time of deep communion with this future version of us that is also this present version of us that they're just asking to come in connection, to intertwine, because time is non-linear, so past, present, and future really can collide into the now. And when we open the doors of perception to this future higher versions of ourselves, and also to these past versions of ourselves, and it's very important for the past versions of ourselves to be integrated with love, for us to remember them, to have extracted their wisdom, and to really realize how every version of ourselves has served us at some point in time. And if we haven't had those experiences, we wouldn't acquire the lessons and the wisdom and the understanding through them. Especially, we really acquire those lessons and wisdoms when we allow ourselves to drop in these past versions of ourselves and integrate them with love, with understanding, with compassion, and with deep care, really, for the self. Because truly, self-love is the most radical act we can do in this world. Truly, to love ourselves, to fully, wholly love every part of us, that is self-love. And that cannot stand the system, meaning, or the system cannot really affect that sovereign self-love individual. Then that gets to be shared with the world and with our communities. So let's be the change we want to see in the world, right? And this is kind of a lot of the journey I've been on is to really integrate all of these parts in me, to bring them into deep self-love, understanding for all that I have experienced, and not so much identifying with it, more so to bring it into coherence with my subconscious and unconscious, to be bringing it to the consciousness and to create a wholeness within. So then from that space of wholeness, this foundation of really loving each part of me without judging, condemning, shaming, then those parts get to be integrated in love and in wholeness. And then from this clear foundation, I get to connect with the future version of me, which then I can bring the past versions and the future versions into the now and create this cohesion of connection. And that to me is wholeness, a whole being, to bridge all these parts which are part of the soul's evolution and experience in the human form, and this union to happen, this synergy. So I really been feeling also lately this Shakti energy that really is wild and free and apologetic and uncontrived, and she wants to come through me. I had this dream a few days ago where this big snake entered me from the inside, entered my yoni portal, and just was weaving into me and was activating me, and it felt so awakening, alive, so much life force moving through the snake, the serpent, and really feeling how this energy really wants to be awakened in my body, and this body vessel as creation of source, of God, of the Mother Divine, who really is meant to expand itself, this so-called, so seemingly physical, to really open the capacity for the energetic frequency to run through more of consciousness, awareness, life force, Shakti energy to run through. And my humans been getting on board, and I'm realizing where there's still little parts in me that may still be resisting something or not fully going for it. For example, this archetype that's been inside of my psyche, and I know it's meant to come alive, is the musician, the singer, the guitar player, the songstress, creating music, creating sound healing. And I have met her in my dreams, yet she has been just tiptoeing her toes in this so-perceived reality. And there's just been this huge resistance to fully go all the way in, to everyday engage in learning to play the guitar, to everyday engage in learning to use my voice and allow it to just be free in however it wants to express itself. I don't need to start even going into studying notes. I literally just want this instrument to start fine-tuning and to start expressing through authentic expression, to let it free, to let that Shakti creative energy force free. So I'm really feeling, because the universe has been giving me all kinds of signs and synchronicity, pinpointing me towards that. And I'm realizing it's just meant for me, and that just goes for all of us, to commit, to devote, to fully say, yes, I'm gonna go for it. And that just may mean to spend 10 to 15 minutes a day with this thing we want to grow into our lives and into our being and to take upon. And what does that mean? Then, well, I may just commit and devote myself to something that is really calling my heart and soul. It's this burning desire that it's kind of knocking on the back, just gently knocking. And from time to time, I hear the knock. And at some point, it's undeniable that I'll need to open the door for that knock first to dissipate, and also to open the door and really see and step into what is there for me on the other side. That's really asking for my attention. And that's really with anything in our lives, right? Our burning desires and our healing, our transformation. Something is always knocking and asking for our attention, and it's up to us at our own time. Nobody else can do it for us to take the step towards this. And then, of course, we can always then have support and friends and family and our partners and all these dear, beautiful people in our life that can also take our hand and walk with us. And then we get to share the experience. We're not meant to do this alone. We're meant to share it with each other, which adds a whole other expansion to our energy, to our communion with Source, with life, with all there is. And it adds this deeper depths of experience, of unleashing, of discovery, of activation, of creativity, of deep, profound feeling, which is healing. And all of it is just here for us whenever we're ready to embark and to take the step and the next step. And the more steps we take, the more the path unfolds. And then they could be very undeniable knocks from inside of us that sooner or later we'll get to answer. And as I speak it, this is what I'm realizing. And it's almost my soul crying to step into this creative expression through music and sound and poetry and just vessel activation. It's really, really asking, and my soul is crying for it. I'm feeling it right now as I'm sharing, and this is my own even discovery. I feel the tenderness. I feel this soul's burning desire to experience this in this life, in this physical vessel expression, and to learn through the senses, to be so into this sensual discovery, to be so deeply embodied in the senses, and through sound and music, for my strings literally to be plugged, like in every area in this vessel, to be pulsating with this sacred tremor, which in Tantra Yoga, the Spandakarika, the sacred tremor is spoken about. And it's this pulsation, this vibration of energy that I have felt many times, yet for a short amount of times, glimpses. And there's this opportunity to keep expanding and diving deeply, and for that energy to be set free and be unapologetically itself. And this is scary for the human because it's unknown, it's unpredictable. I don't know how my human, this body, this vessel will act out if my soul fully comes on board. So if my soul fully takes over. And I've also had quite a bit of taste of what that means too. So may as well go full all in, right? I'm saying I'm pulling all the stops. I'm holding myself accountable right now by stating this, by sharing this with you and with myself. I'm pulling out all the stops, and I'm just gonna go full in with all of my explorations and really dedicate and devote time for this creative energy to unleash through the sound, through the music, through the dance, through the movement, through my breath, through my connection with Source, God, Goddess, higher consciousness, through my embodiment, integration, self-love, acceptance, connection, communion with community, coming into union with all that is, and through that, with all that is within here. Through Tantra, through yoga. This is it. So I take a deep breath and I inhale that in, and I invite you, whoever is listening right now, to connect this heartbeat of yours. And you can even tap on your heart if you cannot hear the heartbeat, if you cannot feel it fully. Just tapping on the heart and bringing the breath into the heart, and to bring this forward, this inquiry of what is my soul's burning desire right now. It's a big question, yet we bring it to this focal point of right now. What is my soul's biggest desire? Burning desire, actually burning, something that is just so asking so loudly, yet so subtly. We gotta tune in, fine tune, slow down to actually listen and hear what it is asking. So I invite you to ask yourself this question. What is my soul's burning desire right now? And to just give yourself some space and time to be in the listening. In the inhale, in the exhale, the breath, when we lengthen our breath, when we bring more oxygen into our cells and into our being, we're truly inviting Spirit, the Holy Spirit, to enter us. The breath is life. The breath is the Holy Spirit. This is one thing that is always with us, constantly, until we leave these bodies. So by bringing more breath in, bringing more awareness, Holy Spirit energy in, and I slow down and I give space to listen to my inquiry. And I keep breathing, and sometimes the answer may arrive right away, and sometimes it may arrive later in different messages through our soul family, angels all around us, that through different messages may guide us. So as we be in the being, we slow down, we trust the process, and we are in the listening, because this is truly a co-creation with life. And the more we step, or our soul steps into our body, into our human, and the more we listen to our soul's call, our soul's burning desire, because this is really consciousness wanting to experience itself through us in its own unique way. And when we set this in motion, then we touch freedom, we touch bliss, we touch compassion, we touch tenderness, we touch expansion and aliveness and orgasmic pulsation, the sacred tremors, Pandakarika, and so much more. And we come in the body and we listen to the body. So this is one of my current practices I am sharing with you that has helped me. Even if I drop in for 10, 15, ideally longer, I like at least 30 an hour or so to be with myself and to drop in my inner guide, inner oracle. And we all are this, we all have it within us. And this is where the intuition, the higher self voice is here. This is God, Goddess, the Mother Earth. We're constantly being guided. We're constantly being shown. And clarity feels so good. And taking action on our soul's requests feels so good, so right. Even if it can be terrifying, it does take courage, I gotta say. It's so worth it because there's more life pulsating through again and again and again. So I'm holding myself accountable as I'm sharing this with you, and I hope it has served in some way, some kind of guidance for you, for your life. Help, support, inspiration to connect deeper, to listen, and to keep taking the steps into unleashing this freedom of expression that wants to come through. And true love, radical self-love, may we rebel to the system by creating a new system inside of us and sharing it with the world and sharing it with ourselves. So much love.